In 2016, Disney released Moana, an adventure film centered around the Pacific Islands and their cultural narratives. Since 2011, directors Ron Clements and John Musker, among other Disney creatives, traveled back and forth from the Pacific Islands, eventually establishing the Oceanic Trust of scholarly and cultural advisors who gave notes on each stage of production. From insisting that the demigod Maui have hair to the inclusion of the ocean as a central character in the film, the Oceanic Trust was meant to ensure the authenticity of the Pacific Island culture. In fact, Clements and Musker's experience with the Pacific Islanders taught them that it was time for Western culture to be swallowed by Pacific Island culture. So, how were Clements and Musker going to restore the legacy and authenticity of the Pacific Island cultures? Well, they had to tell a story that billowed up from the depths of the local culture. According to the Smithsonian article, How the Story of Moana and Maui Holds Up Against Cultural Truths, the film focuses on the sudden end of Polynesian voyaging, a period of time called the Long Pause. Prior to a 1,000-year gap, people using Stone Age technology built voyaging canoes capable of traveling thousands of miles, then set forth against the winds and currents to find tiny dots of land in the midst of the largest ocean on Earth. Dubbed one of the greatest adventure stories of human history, Clements and Musker set out to provide a fantasy explanation for this gap in exploration and voyaging. Once Dwayne Johnson's Maui stole the heart of Tefiti, plunging the world into a time of decay and monsters, the people of the Pacific Islands stopped voyaging to protect themselves from the dangers of that decaying world. To undo what Maui did, the ocean, which is a living character in the film, chooses Moana, an island girl, to get Maui and bring him to Taka to restore the heart of Tefiti. So we come to the central question of this video essay. Why didn't the ocean restore the heart of Tefiti? I mean, the ocean clearly is powerful, binding all islands and people together. In fact, the Pacific Islanders see no distinction between the ocean and the land, and that the ocean has personality and must be listened to. This personal relationship with the ocean is realized in the film by imbuing the ocean with personality and agency. It acts with its own will by carefully observing humanity, eventually selecting Moana, as I said, as its vehicle to begin restoring the world and the heart to its proper place. After a battle with Taka, the lava monster form that Tefiti took after losing her heart, Maui was stranded on a desolate island. But why does the ocean need Moana, an inexperienced island girl, to pick up Maui and travel the seas to Taka? I mean, why couldn't the ocean simply sweep Maui off the island itself, carrying the demigod along to Taka? More importantly, couldn't the ocean just plug the heart back into Tefiti all by itself? I mean, in her current form as Taka, Tefiti is incredibly vulnerable to water. The ocean could have simply swallowed Taka whole in a tidal wave, while restoring the heart all in one move. But of course, this would be too easy, and would remove the plot, the struggle, and most importantly, the character growth from the film. Let's consider how the characters have been changed by the adventure to restore the heart of Tefiti. 1. Tefiti's original identity is restored, and she can once again be a source of life instead of raging death. 2. The islands are restored to health from decay, producing healthy flora and food again. 3. Maui is restored to power with both freedom of physical form and a new sense of self that doesn't rely on outside sources of affirmation. 4. Moana's identity is made whole after being empowered with the knowledge of wayfinding and of her people's heritage as voyagers. 5. Moana's people are restored to their identity as dauntless voyagers. 6. The traditions of Moana's ancestors are restored and honored by more than story, but by practice, a tradition found in the Pacific Islands even to this day. And 7. This is a meta outcome of the film, in which the remarkable truth of this culture's achievement as voyagers is now popularized for all the world to know and celebrate. So let's think about this list of outcomes. If the ocean had simply used its almost omnipotent power to solve the problem of Tefiti's heart, well, the islands would have been healed, and Tefiti would have been returned to her benevolent identity. But the people of Motunui would have remained living a shadow of their true identity, cut off from a full relationship with the ocean and their ancestors. Yes, they seemed to live happily, but really they lived in a choiceless ignorance. They had forgotten who they were, but the ocean gave them a choice through Moana. Upon Moana's return, they could now choose to voyage or not. In fact, choice is essential in this film. Once Maui and Moana fail in their initial encounter with Te Kā, Maui leaves, and Moana tells the ocean to choose someone else. And the ocean honors her choice, taking the heart from her. This is critical. Moana's role in the ocean's task to restore the heart wasn't predestined. It wasn't divinely forced upon Moana. No, she chose to act. The ocean wants a humanity with agency, with free will. A free will that can lead to both destruction and decay, of course, but also life. By using Moana and Maui to restore the heart of Tefiti, the ocean restored their true identities, making them whole. And come to think of it, was Maui ever a whole self? Being discarded into the ocean as an infant, was it the ocean who delivered the unwanted child to the gods? Was it the ocean who all along sought to restore the inherent dignity of life that Maui and all the Pacific Islanders have? Maui's desire for acceptance led to the theft of Tefiti's heart. And I find it interesting that the ocean ultimately used an act of theft to restore the whole world to its intended state. What a beautiful story, a familiar story for a Western culture founded on Christianity's own story of decay and restoration, and one that shows that the all-powerful ocean gave agency and identity to humanity by letting them choose to act. Without that choice, would it mean anything for the ocean to save the world and all of humanity itself? Or did the ocean save the world? After all, Moana means ocean. For more on Moana and its cultural roots, please visit the links in the comments, as well as watch the documentary Voice of the Islands on the Moana Blu-ray. And please like, subscribe, and comment below.